Hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new program called Table Talk. It emanates from the Idle Spurs Steakhouse here in Barstow. And our first guest on the program is Madline Gornell, whose pen name is M.M. Gornell. And she has been writing books for some time. And recently, last time we had her on, she had just completed her first story, book, novel, I guess it would be, about Route 66. And the second one, which, by the way, the first one was called Renaissance of Ravens. And this was her first book. Very good, by the way. And now she has written another book about Route 66, which really doesn't have too much to do with this, if anything.
No, completely different set of characters.
Yeah. The only thing it has in common is the highway.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. And our high desert.
And the high desert, right. Okay, now I would assume that you're from Newberry Springs.
Yes.
Is that how you kind of got interested in doing a story on the highway, Route 66?
Well, yes. Currently, I live in Newberry Springs. Before that, though, I lived in Chicago, Washington, other places. But when I landed in Newberry Springs, I already had several books written, and the books focused on locations in the areas that I live. So, consequently, Newberry Springs was my new location and my first experience with the desert. So things in the desert caught my interest, and that's where they sprung from.
Yeah. And you like murder mysteries. You
Yes.
like to write murder mysteries.
Yes.
And I love to read murder mysteries. And
I do too.
They have to be one of the most popular novels,
I think
aren't they?
the mystery genre is very popular, and it has all kind of different types. There's cozies, there's thrillers, there's what they call police procedurals. Mine are just kind of like, we call them generic mysteries.
Ah, okay. And what does that mean exactly?
That means, for me, what it means
Uh-huh.
is it's a story about ordinary people being overtaken by extraordinary events in a particular place, like you were saying, Newberry Springs. The location is very important to me, and from there stems the story. And whether it's comfortable, uncomfortable, has police procedurals in it, or CSI type of stuff, depends on the story. So that's why I say it's sort of generic, because my books don't quite fit in a neat little category. It would be easier for marketing if they did, but it's a story about, like I said, a particular person, a particular place, and in this case, in these two, the place is the desert, Mojave, and the area all around us here. And of course, the murder mysteries, and that's the central core that the whole story revolves around. But there are backstories, character backstories, a lot of other stuff happening.
A lot of things going on. And also, I should mention that the book is called Lies of Convenience. And what it says is a lot of things that you write about, backstories and different things that keep the interest up of the reader as he goes along,
Yes.
wanting to see what happens on the
Yes.
next page.
I try to write what I like to read, and that's the kind of stories I like to read. And so far, they've been standalones. That Lies of Convenience, the heroine in that is female, and in Renaissance of Raven, the hero is male.
Oh, okay.
So it just depends on the circumstance.
So nobody is ever sure what they're going to get when they pick up an M.M. Gornell book.
Well, hopefully they will have read the blurb, and I would have done a little publicity.
Yeah, right.
Prepared them a little, but
But
yes,
they're going to be different.
they're going to be different so far.
Yeah. Okay, you said that location is very important
Yes.
to your story. So what triggered Lies of Convenience?
With Lies of Convenience, it spans psychologically and story-wise the expanse between Chicago and California. Route 66 starts in Chicago, which I'm pretty sure most of you know, and ends at Santa Monica Pier. So it connects those two and two people, one who lives in Chicago and the other now out here. and the location started off being a view from one of my cousin's apartments. She lives on Michigan Avenue in a high-rise. The person in the book lives in a penthouse. She does not live in a penthouse, but she has a beautiful view of Lake Michigan and the water, Lakeshore Drive, and park, and Shedeca, a whole lot of things. And when I looked out of her window the first time, I said, there's a story here. So that was the spark for that one.
All right. Madline, tell us a little bit about the plot of Lies of Convenience. Don't give the whole story away, but give us a nice tease.
Okay, well, the Lies of Convenience or Reticence of
Yeah,
Ravens?
Lies of Convenience,
Okay.
the new one.
The new one, okay. Like I said, it starts in Chicago, and the lady in the penthouse is called to Palm Springs for an emergency by her brother. So that starts the story off. You're curious what's going on with the brother. But in the process of seeing the brother, she also gets to see her niece who lives in Newberry. That's where Route 66 and the desert comes in. Although I believe Palm Springs is actually in the Mojave Desert also. But the main part of the story takes place in the high desert in our area, Barstow, Newberry. So she ends up coming from Chicago to the desert, and from there murders start happening. People from the past appear, and secrets might get revealed. And that's why it's called Lies of Convenience, because underlying all of the things that are happening, there are many lies, and most of them are convenience, and some of them are for, nefarious reasons.
Yeah. I tell you, this is going to be a good book. I haven't read it yet. I have read Reticent of Ravens, and this is it keeps you. You don't really know who did what.
Oh, good. That's one of the hopes when you're writing, that the reader is engaged and they want to find out who did it, and they can't figure it out. But when they do figure it out, it all makes sense. It's not just pulled out of the hat.
Yeah, in case, I'm sure there's some of our viewers that have not read this book, so give us a little a synopsis of this.
Okay.
And what was the idea that triggered this book?
That book was triggered by sort of near where I live, off of I-15, which I'm not too far away. There is an unmarked almost exit, and there was a little mini mart at that exit. And I wouldn't say it was ramshackle, but it was typical of the high desert. And every time I pass it, it would kind of call out to me and say, there's a story here, there's a story here. So that was the trigger for that. And then from there, I kind of go to the characters, which were who was the first person that settled there? Why would somebody even come there now? What would possess someone to open a mini mart out here in the middle of the desert? And that's where I came to the character. His name is Hubert Champion, and he's a third. His father's New York, successful New Yorker. He's had a practice in Chicago. He's a psychologist. He's had some bad experience. He's carrying a lot of baggage, emotional baggage. And he comes to the Mojave to escape. And of course, you can't escape. There's always murders, and there's always something happening to people.
Yeah.
There's never the runaway spot.
When he gets in one of your books, he's not going to get away. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think actually, I'll just add on this one. I've only written standalones. I have 4 standalone books, and by that I mean each has a different set of characters. Right now I'm working on my first sequel to Reticence of Ravens, which is called Council of Ravens, and it's my first attempt to take a character into a second book. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Now, both of these books, where can they be acquired?
They're available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. You can order them in bookstores. You can order them directly from me. Email. I have a website and a blog. My website is mmgornell.com, And if you go there, you can find out everything about the books, where to buy them, my email. If you email me, I will send you a signed copy. Locally, I am going to be at the Harvey House in September. The dates for all of this are on my website. I will be in Apple Valley in October. November, I'll be at the Newberry Springs Pistachio Festival. So if you're near any of those places, come by. I love talking to readers. I love talking to writers, and I like talking about writing, mine and yours, of course. So
Okay.
that's how they can get them.
Well, Madeline, it's always delightful to have you on the program. And by the way, this is the first one of Table Talk that will always be coming probably from this table or another table in this restaurant. So
I'm honored to be the first one.
Well, we're honored to have you. And
Thank you.
You got some great books. Lies
Thank
of
you.
Convenience, the brand new one from Gornell. And where is it available, by the way?
Amazon.
Other than on the website. You
Yes,
mentioned
most
it.
people, and it's available in paperback and ebook,
Yeah.
Kindle and Nook.
Okay.
Currently, I tend to sell more books, ebooks now. It's a lot of people are using their Kindles and Nooks.
Yeah.
You can't sign them, but
Well, it's a new world, isn't it?
it's a new world.
Kindles
yes.
and Nooks.
Yeah, and the everything's changing, so we're all running to try to keep up with it.
That's right.
As far as publicity goes, but the basics is still there. Just write.
Yes,
Just
that's
keep
it.
writing.
Does the museum have any copies of your
The
book?
museum, the Barstow, Route 66 Museum in the Harvey House has Reticence of Ravens. I don't know if she's ordered Lies. Deborah Hopkins has ordered Lies of Convenience. I don't. My guess is not. But if you ask her, she certainly can get them.
Yeah,
for you.
okay. Madeline, thank you very much
Thank
for being
you,
on
Bill.
the
It was
program.
wonderful. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I always like talking to you.
Very good. This is Bill Combs for Table Talk. Join us again next time.